So, we see this one thing. I've written this on my Facebook a while ago. I'm still waiting for the whole thing to switch over for the Houses of Parliament to open up because, you know, when they transition from one to another, I can't repost this until they've finished doing something else. So I might just send it in an email to .gov, yes?
Yeah.
But this little fellow here,
Yeah.
weed. In this country, there's so much rubbish around this, red tape, I would say. So much red tape around weed, yes? It's really good for O2, yes? It's great stuff, yes. Younger populations seem to thrive on it. I mean, it would be great if we didn't have the police happening to keep deal with this and then they can get on with their real police work that they need to be getting on with, the more, you know, pressing matters in society. And also, if there was a tax put on this, I mean, you'd have to look at it and, oh god, another tax. Yes, I think there should be a tax put on this, to be honest. And I think that, well, rather than a tax, I think it should be some level of you pay out somewhere to get a license for it. What's the license for? To cover you and anybody else in your building. Especially if you're living in flats, right? And you're going to grow it with some lights and perhaps something happens where it could cause a fire, might not, might this. Special location, rah-de-rah, whoever kids, this, is it out the way, is it locked, is it secure, is there risk of electrocution, is it bodged, is it not, is there this? Yeah, it does an awful lot of good stuff. So I think that there should be some money, and there again, it helps the pot, right? Literally. Yeah, pot, weed, pot, never mind. Anyway, so it helps back to put into the pot, yes? Now, I wrote this, it's on Facebook. Not because it's there, because I want it. It's just there so that I can keep adding to it. There's some more stuff like the O2 that it's really good for. You can make things from it. It's great as a substitution for painkiller. I mean, come on, do the math. There's a lot of good stuff come from this. Harder drugs then, I believe, become a thing of the past. Did you know more people are likely to smoke marijuana than they are to go over to alcohol? One is more easier to give up than the other. Okay? Not saying that one is bad, because there are some people that like to have a drink and are not so dependent on it, and there are some people who are highly dependent on it. It's always hit and miss the way you go.
Yeah.
Again, I think that it calms you down in mental health, although some people will say in professional, and I'm not in that aspect to call it, but I've heard some people say that it can either A, exacerbate mental health, not sure if that's still the current knowing, and others say that it calms it down. Okay, it helps with certain things, yes?
Yeah.
This whole weed situation here, in the UK, it is still fully illegal. Now, I think that it would be a great thing for Labour to remove that illegality to it. Literally, remove it. And here's why. Have you noticed how the EU have given free access to people under the age of 35 years old, but have legalized marijuana? Where do you think British people will begin to go if they smoke this stuff? To any other nation that, right? And you know, that this causes, and then the ones that don't cause a lot of friction in society because of this. They feel controlled, they feel this, they feel that. Where do you think this opens a doorway? Does it not seem enticing? We can give you a good job, but we can also let you have this stuff under the age of 35, of course. Where do all your children go? It's only a matter of time before they begin to work this out. They're going to want to go mainly for this reason. It'll make Britain look like a barren island, wouldn't it? Where are all the young kids going? Why do they not want to come back? Well, because this, if it's legalized, how many people do you think will come in?
Not many. Not here.
Not here.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not one for smoking or not smoking. That's wherever you fit in on that. I think that there is a level of whether it's you have a right to put that and smoke that. It's here now. That's how it is, yes? But if people go over towards this and then drop down on the smoking, and it is possible to quit smoking whilst this is about, if they can grow it themselves, They are promoting oxygen during the winter. Energy bills, energy companies, you're making a little bit of money on this as well.
Yeah.
I think that's good for business. If you sell it, you can make clothing from it. You can make wicker stuff from it. I think it's wicker stuff. I'm not really sure. You can make a level of paper. What else can you make from it? There's so much stuff you can make with the stalks, if you want to call it that. I think this is a very good idea. And hemp as well, included.
Yeah.
Although, if you legalize hemp here in the UK and everywhere else legalizes weed, people are going to leave. This is only sustainable for so long. This one is the real key to it. And then, should there be anything like skunk? No, I don't agree with skunk. I believe that if it's just naturally done in a natural environment, in a natural setting where it's not messed around with to make it super strong, because I think it's skunk that causes the mental health problems. You know, the super stuff, the stuff that's really tweaked to do that. I think that causes the mental health problems, but just your everyday homegrown. And then what type of seed would you be prepared to legalize inside the UK? One that isn't this, isn't that. If you're caught with this one, then there is a penalty. Should it be a harsher penalty? Perhaps, perhaps not. Yes?
Yeah.
If it's just this standard type here, over here, because the strains are all different from the different plants, hell, I'd even grow this. I would. No, I'm not going to shy away from it. I would grow this absolutely within a heartbeat. And then there are people who can grow it and there are people who can't grow it. This opens up jobs, although perhaps whether you would say that it is a good job or a bad job, that's up to you. Again, but if it's putting into the tax pot, why should that be a bad problem to people who do or don't smoke it? And then I think the thing with the smoking went kind of one way the other way, where they banned all smoking in different areas.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, that's good in one way and no, not great in one way, okay? That's just my personal opinion on that. Should you be allowed to smoke this everywhere? No, I don't think so. I think there should be some places where people who don't smoke and don't want to breathe that or don't want to be affected, whatever, they don't want to have the symptoms of feeling that. So there should be an area where you can smoke it and an area where you can't smoke it. And then this helps you get that win-win situation. So designated green spaces for recreational use of cannabis should be designated, and areas that are prohibited. Yes, is that the right word?
Yeah,
where you should not be allowed to smoke it
Yeah.
in these particular areas, because you've got to think of one another. And in this, then there should be the non-smokers of it and the smokers of it should be able to meet in the middle and shake the hands with one another. Parts of beaches, one place yes, one place no. You know, a lot of this stuff factored in now, I think, would be highly relevant to helping find that middle line. Sure, you can't please everybody, but if you give it a good go, well, that's what you can say at the end of it. We gave it a good go. Should it be allowed in buildings? Probably not. Should it be outside buildings? Again, probably not, because you'd have a sort of situation on your hands where, what about if you're living in a small place where you've only got a small garden and you blow it out, is it going to affect the... Should there be a type of flume or a pipe, like an old chimney that puts it up somewhere on a venting system, and you go into a smoking booth that could be built into your garden? And this has a massive pipe that puts it up and over, so it disperses over a longer area if you were to smoke. Inside this area, well out the way, safe enough to do so, X, Y, Z. Again, these things need to be thought about. And if these are things that can be done, then great. It gives you the best of both worlds. Rather, or you could put people who do smoke it in certain areas and certain people who don't smoke it in different areas. Again, that kind of divisive, that is. It's very division-y in that. But again, there are tools around this. And if you're furthest enough away where you're not going to cause a problem to your neighbors, then that's great. Or you have some areas around in different areas where there's a certain trail that you go, roll up at home and go and walk and smoke over there, then come back home. Should these things be, you know, in my opinion, I believe yes. I believe in, for half the youngsters that are out there, gee me, especially my younger brothers and different things like this, right? Everybody I seem to know anywhere has smoked this or is smoking this. Again, I think that it should be legalized. We don't want people to leave the country. In fact, we want to entice youngsters into the country. Bring your working experiences with you, or start your job here, and because if not, we are falling behind. And if we're falling behind, does that mean that people are going to end up deserting the United Kingdom based on this draconian old law because of too much bureaucracy? Are we missing out on an opportunity to tax, in a way, to pay a fee, a certain type of fee to just be, to come around, get a certificate and whatnot? Are we shutting the door on certain jobs that can be done from home? Work from home, sell this stuff, move it over the... I think that a good step in the right direction. Can it help with oxygen levels? At converting CO2 into O2? Are we going to chill out and have less of a crime in the United Kingdom? Yes. Are we going to see the fall away of the most hardest drugs in society? Are we going to see less alcoholics? A lot of data coming out that people were really scared that there were going to be people that were high whilst driving at the wheel. They were going to crash in and do this and do that. There has been none. Well, maybe the odd few here and there. I think it's mainly here that it's still probably promoting that sort of propaganda, whether it is or isn't. Again, but in most other places that you hear these studies come from, there hasn't been. So again, and there's more individuals smoking in these nations than what there are here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a waste of police and taxpayers' money to send the police in to try and combat a situation where it is so widespread? Again, there's nothing quite like shooting yourself in your own foot. Pardon the pun. I think this will be a good step in the right direction, to be honest. I really do. It opens up cafes. Again, is it to do in a cafe where you can get something to drink, this, that, and the other? Rah-de-rah. When we look at Amsterdam, when we look at parts of America, when we look at parts of the EU, there is this type of environment that seems to see a reduction in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There seems to be less on the whole depression. I say less. An awful lot less, especially with the types of light hours that are subjects. I mean, this seems to be going in a very good direction. And it's nice to see that parts of the world, if not quite a lot, are turning green. If it's only in certain areas, then I think that should be also welcomed, because it's small steps in a right direction. Actually, any step towards it is a good step, I think. And then does this open up businesses? Yes. Does this promote more rather than empty high streets? Are we going to see more high streets? Does it promote people to come over from other countries to try out the lifestyle here? Does this boost our GDP? Does this boost more money coming into the nation from another nation? Whereas people might overlook us because, I ain't going there for a holiday destination. Why not? I want to go here. They legalize this. Is this good for tourism? Is it good for this? Is it then good for the community of the tourism that comes? Is it bad for people in the community? I mean, there's a lot of questions to be asked, isn't there? And a lot of small businesses that could be really opening Pandora's box, if you like that sort of thing. I just like this whole concept, to be honest. I think it's quite amazing to see other nations really taking the lead on this. And it's, again, the UK seems to be very stagnant into resisting this. It just seems very, very... It would be nice to live in this country to be able to feel that we're the first in things. Or we're moving along with the world. Not on everything I appreciate, but most things that make sense. It would be nice to feel that we are moving with the times, rather than being stagnating in this sort of old way that seems to have done its purpose to get us where we are now. But can we move a little bit more further? Again, I think that this is a good opportunity to then other small businesses, not just CAFs, but places to start making different types of tents or facilities to grow things in.
Yeah, and then you can make some biscuits, chocolate.
You
can make some foods or some souvenirs made from it.
Some with an intoxicating feeling and some with not an intoxicating feeling, but still get all the very good benefits. Some with the seeds, some with this. then there is crafts, then there is this, then there is the whole cafe, then with coffee, without coffee, tea, whatever it is that you want to sit down and do, then are we going to have a more of a peaceful situation in society, which then takes the burden off the police and they can get on with other things? You know, I really do wonder where this could go in a world like this, where you would end up in. And it's beautiful to hear that certain politicians are pushing for the full legalization of this. I just think it's just a win-win situation, to be honest. And I think it's it's very untapped, and there's money to be made. Not just that, there's great experiences and times to come from it.
Yeah.
It opens into a lot of avenues.
Yeah.
It can help you reach your net zero targets, or at least, why can't you start having oxygen plus targets?
Yeah.
Again, packaging, different things like this, rah that. Would it take the burden off of the NHS? At least some, until the lists get down for the different things. It's possible. Does it help medicine? Will it help science? Will it help this? Lots of things to be thinking about. Anyway, I'm going to get on because I said I was going to make this one very short. And yeah, there you are. There we are. Very good. I'm going to guess your app has crashed.
Yeah.
So it's still rolling. Awesome. You get to watch me wipe off the board as well.
Come.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.